At some point in the past year, a brand that you follow started a Substack. You scrolled past the announcement on LinkedIn and thought,
Substack, I keep meaning to figure out how to do that.
you either did and forgot about it, or it's still on your to-do list. Like me. Well, now is the time because searches for the platform tripled in the last 2 years. The first brand in your industry to actually build one properly is gonna own that space. And you're watching this video right now, which means that brand could be yours. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I have never actually opened Substack before. I know. But that's actually the point, because most people open Substack and start typing, and almost half of them quit right after launch. I don't want that for me, and I don't want that for you either. So when I was assigned this video topic, I thought maybe I could start one for my brand, but I was skeptical. So before I opened anything, I wrote down a list of 10 questions that I needed honest answers to before I could decide if it would actually be worth it for my brand. And after doing the research, it turns out very much worth it. So we're gonna go through what I found. I'm gonna build and launch a Substack for my business, and by the end, you're gonna have everything you need to do the same. To make sure I set this up properly, I'm gonna be following the Substack business playbook. It has every framework, decision, and prompt that you need regardless of your business type. It's free, and I linked it in the description for you so that you can follow along as we go. So, question 1, and yes, I genuinely did not know the answer to this when I started. What is Substack and why should I care? Think of Substack like a blog meets email list, except instead of publishing into the void and hoping someone visits, every subscriber receives it straight to their inbox. And unlike social media, nobody decides how many of them get to see it. If you've been feeling like you're posting more and reaching fewer people, that is not just in your head. On every major social platform, organic reach has been declining significantly year over year, and the cost of paid ads rose 8 to 12% last year alone. So think of it this way. Social media is renting space in someone else's building. One algorithm change and your reach disappears. Substack is owning the building. Every subscriber actually receives what you send. No algorithm, no pay to play. You can publish articles, podcast episodes, videos, and short form notes, all going directly to the people who choose to hear from you. So, sounds pretty cool. But when I was researching, there was one stat that kept popping up that made me even more skeptical, which brings me to the question almost every Substack tutorial skips. Is this actually sustainable? 45% of all Substacks created go inactive. Why? Turns out, it's not bad writing, it's not the wrong posting schedule, it's an undifferentiated position. So really, all you have to do is show up with the right positioning and you already have a massive competitive advantage. And that starts with one question most people never ask before they start building. Can you validate your niche? The playbook has a niche positioning framework, 4 filters that you can run in sequence. If you hit all 4, you're locked and loaded. So here's what that looks like. Filter 1, specificity. Can you describe your ideal subscriber in one sentence without the word professional? Filter 2, earned authority. Do you have direct first-hand experience in this niche? Filter 3, monetization path. Can you draw a clear line from subscriber reads this to subscriber pays for something? Filter 4, competitive differentiation. Are there already 3 or more established newsletters in your exact space? So instead of going through each filter manually, I'm gonna use this prompt from the playbook. I inserted my niche, and I'm gonna let AI evaluate all 4 at once. I passed a couple and failed a couple. Basically, I need to get more specific about who I'm talking to and sharpen my angle so that I'm not competing with newsletters that are already doing this. Simple enough. So I'm just gonna refine it a little and then I'll just run it through again. Nice. Niche validated. So naturally, the next question is, how do I set this up for my brand? Okay, it's time for me to open Substack for the very first time. So let's go to Substack. So the first screen here is just profile setup, your name and a bio, pretty simple. You want to put your real name here if this is a personal brand. If it's for a company, put the brand name. For the bio, keep it human and specific. Substack readers want to know who you are and why you are the right voice. Okay, next. Here is where people get confused. In settings, I believe, right here, you can create a publication. So this is what people actually subscribe to, and you can have more than one under the same account. Now, the brands doing this well don't just slap their logo on a newsletter. They give it an editorial identity, something with a perspective. For example, American Eagle's Substack is called Off the Cuff, not American Eagle's newsletter. Okay, so here we just need our URL. You want to keep this clean and close to the publication name. Then we have the option to import a mailing list. Cool, so I just need to export my contacts from HubSpot. And if you have contacts in a CRM already, you can do the same so that you're not starting from zero. This is actually a head start that most people leave on the table. Okay, publication set up. List is imported. Now this next question really hit me close to home, and if you've also experienced this before, you know you want to avoid it at all costs. How do I avoid burning out? Last year, I promised myself that I would publish one YouTube video on my channel every single week. Ask me how many I published. Actually, don't. By week 5, I had published 0 videos, and I spent a totally reasonable amount of time feeling bad about it. But after my little pity party, I realized it was not a discipline problem. I was just asking myself to be disciplined way too often. What I needed to do was find the right cadence for my actual situation before committing to anything. And sometimes we lie to ourselves about how much time we have, don't we? Now, I am convinced that you can solve anything with a good decision tree. My therapist disagrees. But here we are. Look at this. This is in the playbook. It's 4 questions that help you narrow down a realistic cadence based on your actual life. So question 1, how many hours do you have per week? Realistically, I'm gonna say 3 to 5 for me, so weekly is viable. Question 2, how research heavy is your content? Mine is experience-led and opinion-driven, so production time is pretty low. So again, weekly is realistic. Question 3, what is your current subscriber count? I did just import a warm list, but I'm still in the 0 to 500 range, so frequency matters less than quality right now. Question 4, what is your monetization model? We're going to talk more about this in a bit. So based on all of that, I'm going to start with every 2 weeks and see how it goes. Question 3 is what tipped it for me, quality over volume while my list is still small, which honestly is a relief because I have way too many cats taking up my time. Okay, next question, what do I actually post? So first, I need to decide if Substack is a hub or a spoke. If you saw my last video, we went deeper on this decision. If you didn't, no worries, my feelings are fine. Here's the gist. A hub is your original content, the content that you really take your time on to build and craft from the heart. So this could be like YouTube videos or podcast episodes or long-form written content. A spoke is the content repurposed from your hub. Think LinkedIn posts, blog posts, email newsletters, short-form video. Pick one primary format and one secondary. The primary is your workhorse, the thing that you publish every issue. The secondary adds variety without adding overwhelm. This is where people overcomplicate it. Substack supports articles, video, audio, and short notes. But the platform was built around written content. It's what subscribers come for, and it is the lowest barrier to start. So when I say format, I'm talking about how the writing is structured, the shape of the issue. You can always expand later, but for now, 2 is enough. So for me, Substack will be a spoke. My YouTube channel is already my hub, and I'm gonna repurpose the transcripts into Substack content. Let me show you how fast this actually is. I'm gonna time myself. Time starts now. Okay, first thing I wanna do is I'm gonna go to my YouTube channel. I'll do this video. Okay. I want to get the transcript of it. Copy transcript. Now I'm going to head to Claude, and I'm just going to prompt it to turn the transcript into a Substack issue. What are we at so far? 1 minute and 19 seconds. Okay, so it's asking me a question. Let's do C. Okay. So now I'm just going to copy those over to Substack. I'll go to create, article. Okay, there's that. Okay, and then there's that. And now I'm just going to go through it and edit it a little bit to sound like me. Now it is pretty close because I used my voice agent for this. That's just an AI agent that I created to know my brand voice. It actually knows it better than I do sometimes. I teach you how to do it in my last video, and I will link that in the description so that you can watch it next. So that's pretty good. And I'm gonna press continue. Boom. Done. Okay, wait. 3 minutes, 28 seconds. My first issue, done. That's crazy. Now we need readers. So the next question, how do you get those? Raise your hand if you have ever posted something that you were genuinely proud of, refreshed the page 10 minutes later, and it had 4 views, 3 of which were probably you. Just me? Okay. Well, that is what happens when you publish without a distribution plan. And we aren't gonna let that happen, so here is what we're gonna do. First, I'm gonna share my new Substack with my existing contacts. A personal email, 2 paragraphs with a direct link. The playbook actually has an AI outreach prompt that will help you a lot here. And then for every issue published, I'm gonna post to LinkedIn. So I can actually ask my AI chat to do that right now. Okay, this is so simple, it is crazy. Now, over the next few months, I'll work these in. Cross recommendations with other newsletters, guest contributions to a newsletter that my audience already reads, and podcast appearances where I will push to a free resource at my Substack URL. The more of these tactics that you layer in, the faster your list grows. But then I was wondering, if I've never done this before, how do I even know if it's working? So, turns out, the playbook has a chart with some benchmark goals. Now, if we're not hitting them, it is usually one of these 3 things. If the open rate is below 30%, that is a niche problem, not a content problem. So we have to go back and run our niche through those 4 filters from the beginning. If subscriber count is flat, it may be that we need to add another promotion channel. If publishing becomes inconsistent, the cadence was wrong to begin with. So we reevaluate with the cadence decision tree. Most growth problems trace back to step 1 or step 2. So check what you built before you try something new. Now we know what to post, when to post it, and how to get people to actually see it. If this was your average Substack tutorial, it would end right here. But this is not your average Substack tutorial. And this is where things get really interesting. Next question I had, how can I actually make money from this thing? Have you ever looked at a paid piece of content and thought, wait, people are actually paying for this? Here's the secret. The ones making money are not writing thought leadership. They're writing things that people can actually use the next morning. Frameworks, systems, checklists. The more practical the content, the higher the willingness to pay. Write that one down. Your free tier should be genuinely useful on its own. The trust that builds there is what makes the paid upgrade feel obvious. For your paid tier, pick one upgrade driver and build around it. Here are a couple of suggestions. Give them something they can open and use tomorrow. A checklist, a workflow, a done-for-you template. Go deeper on the same topic. Free subscribers get the concept. Paid subscribers get the full case study and walkthrough. Sell access to you directly. Office hours, a private chat, the ability to ask questions. Or just give paid subscribers more. A bonus issue, a midweek quick take, something that the free list doesn't get. Pick one of those. Of course, the playbook has a decision tree to help you choose. Honestly, if they could just make a decision tree to help me decide if I should get a 4th cat. But alas, I am up to my own devices on that one. And that is never good. So now I know how to make money. Realistically, how much do I even charge for something like this? So most paid newsletters sit between $5 and $15 a month. B2B publications tend to charge on the higher end. I want to charge an amount that feels frictionless for someone who's serious and filters out the people who just want free stuff. I'm thinking I'll start at like $10 a month. Now, Substack does take 10% of this, so make sure to factor that in. So to set this up, I believe it would be in settings, payments, yeah. Okay, so I can connect a Stripe account, and then here I can put in my pricing tiers. So now when I go to make a new issue, I can select whether it's free for everyone or for paid subscribers only. Super simple. So we have a plan and payment set up, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we're making money. The next question is, how do I actually get people to pay? Most people running a Substack are using exactly one way to convert subscribers into customers. One. But there are actually 4 conversion levers, and you build them in sequence over your first year. Lever 1. From the very beginning, make sure every single issue ends with 2 lines about what you do and who you help. This isn't a pitch, it is a positioning statement. Basically, you are just training your readers to associate your name with something commercial. Lever 2. Every few issues offer something free that requires a small commitment. A template, a short video, a 30-minute call. For me, that might be access to one of my Claude agents that I use every day. Low barrier, high trust. Very valuable. Lever 3. After 8 to 12 consistent issues, make one direct ask. Your capacity for new clients, a course enrollment, a trial, whatever is relevant to your business. Subscribers who have been reading for months are often already sold. They were just waiting for you to ask. Lever 4. 2 to 4 times a year, publish a conversion issue, a real result, a real story, one specific call to action at the end. Book a call, start a trial, apply now. Levers 3 and 4 are what actually move the number. And that is how you create a Substack that is a valuable part of your business rather than just another place to post. So we answered all 10 questions. Yes, it's worth it to start a Substack for your business. Mine is set up and ready to work, and you have everything you need to do the same for your brand. The businesses who build this right will have an owned audience that compounds for years, while everyone else is still renting reach from the platforms that keep changing the rules. Remember, the free Substack business playbook is in the description, every framework, every prompt, every decision tree we used today. If this video put Substack on your radar, then give it a like to let me know. And if you enjoyed it and want more free resources and content like this weekly, then subscribe to this channel, HubSpot Marketing. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. My name is Bridget O'Rourke. That is Maya. That was Minnie. Feel free to connect with me online, and hopefully I will see you on Substack. Bye.